Hey, hello everybody. I'm Randy. Just want to welcome you all to another live stream from RG22 Outdoor Adventures. And I'm going to be painting this right here. As you can see, it's a different profile that I carved. So I don't know how it's going to work, but we're going to paint it and we're going to try it when we have some soft water. Right now, all the ponds around me are all iced up, so I can't do any lure and action videos. But as you guys can see, those are all the colors. So a wicked pearl white, that's going to be a scale. Belly, back, probably a scale. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with black. Maybe gills. And then wicked opaque white. That'll be right around here for the eyes. I don't think I'm going to put any gills in, but we'll see what happens as we continue on with the painting. So here we go. All right, let's get started here. Let's grab a drink. It's Mountain Dew today. Where's my lure holder? It's way over there. My hands can be the lure holder. Okay, so the very first color I'm going to put on is going to be orange. It's going to be this fluorescent orange. Here we go. All right, let's get this all mixed up here. Okay, all right, so we're gonna paint the entire half here. Hey, Mars, how's it going, buddy? Merry Christmas. And hopefully you have a great new year too. So this part's gonna be orange here, orange, and then yellow on top. And I'm gonna see if we get some colors to blend right in the middle over here, okay? Let's try that real quick. Here we go. I want you guys to see this. May have thinned it out a little too much. Sand, hello. Hey, you have a question. Oh, Irma, thank you. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Well, what's the question, if you have one? Okay, we're gonna get that dried off, and I think we went a little too thin, so we're gonna have to put a few more coats on this. Okay? Get this dried off here. Ooh, that's too hot. We don't need 1,000 degrees. Oh, there we go. I'm having a great day. All right, we're gonna put a little bit thicker, I'm gonna put a little bit heavier orange in there. I think I thinned it out way too much. Let's get this mixed again. Well, thank you so much. Stick around for the whole thing. We're painting the entire lure during the stream, the whole thing. There's no stopping. we go. We're still not quite done with that yet. And I'm doing this all, you can see my breath. See that? All in uninsulated. I think this is uninsulated garage. It gets pretty cold in here during the winter. It gets pretty cold. We're going to do a little bit more because I want that to be pretty bright. So, hey Steve, how's it going, man? So, the cheapest rod. Well, on the Shimano rods aren't really that bad, aren't really that expensive. The Sojourn rods. I actually have one, and I don't mind it. I actually like using it. Createx. That's what we're using, Createx. So those are decent rods. The Musky shop sells their shield rods, which are really cool. Not even close. Everything stays outside. And so far, nothing's been ruined. Wow, I didn't put anything about ice in this channel. That's cool, man. There we go. I think that's going to be bright enough. There we go. I think that's bright enough. Thanks, Steve. I try to be, man. There we go. All right. Let's get this dried, get the airbrush cleaned off, and we're going to put yellow across the top, and maybe I can get this to blend in, and maybe it'll turn red. We'll see what happens. Actually, nothing's frozen in here, so it doesn't get, I don't think it gets below freezing, but it gets cold. The only issue I have is the epoxy. That's the only issue I have with being out here is the epoxy. Either when it's summertime it's too warm, or in the wintertime it's too cold. So late spring, early fall are probably the best times to be out painting and using the epoxy. I'm gonna go there, yeah. I'll be there. I'm not gonna have a booth or anything. I was thinking maybe I don't know how much it costs for a table, but my thought was maybe next year in 2027, I got to get a bunch of lures made for that. So yeah, I'll be there. I just got to have someone switch off of work with me. But yeah, I'm going to do my best to get there. I was there last year and I was there the year before. Here it is. I made one of these. No point buying one. Does the same exact thing. Okay. Let's get this cleaned off and on to the next color. And like I said, I think that color is going to be yellow. Oh, nice. I'll probably walk around with my wife will probably go with me too. I'll probably be walking around. Maybe I'll probably end up buying a few lures. A Q&A sticker. I don't know what a Q&A sticker is. All right, so this is A wicked golden yellow. We're going to put that on the back. Hey, David. You guys enjoying your eve of Christmas Eve? And let's spray this. Here we go. I might bring a couple lures with me. Oh, wow. Wow, look at that. That is awesome. Here we go. I probably could use a little bit more orange, don't you think? What do you think? Use a little bit more orange? I think so. I think so. That's kind of what it's looking to me like right now. A little bit more orange. Yep. Steve says more orange. Okay. Let's do that. Let's get this cleaned out a little bit more. Just use a couple drops instead of 3 or 4 that I used. Just makes cleaning this a lot harder. All right. So on that last live stream I did where I did that complete lure from start to finish, I only had one person log into for the drawing. Only one person. Well, Steve, should I do a video on that one time? Just how I do it? Because it really isn't all that tough. It's just you got to have everything set just right, and the bit has to actually fit the wood that you're going to be routing. So if your bit's too big, I've had some where it's been a complete and utter disaster because I didn't have the right bit for the thickness of the wood that I was using. But once I did, it went along really good, and I can show you. Maybe I'll do a video and I can show you guys how I do that. Because basically what I'm doing is I'm staying on one side of the router as it spins. I just stay on one side and move it along that side back and forth. And you just go in one direction and then flip it around, do the other way, and you stay on that same direction, if you know what I'm saying. I'll have to do a video and show it one time. Yeah, I'm one person. One. The only problem is I don't know what shipping is back and forth between the U.S. and Canada. Otherwise, I would have it open to everybody. But I've never done anything like that, so I don't know. But when I first did it, it scared the daylights out of me because I had a couple of them shoot right back at me, and it's not fun, let me tell you. It was it was pretty scary when that wood kicks back at you. You can see it. I have it on my channel, so if you want to watch it, you can watch it. It's already there. It's the whole thing. And it goes from start to finish on the entire lure. Okay, there we go. I think that looks a lot better. So I use the curved ones, and what I do is I don't run it. I'll run the bottom of the curve slightly, just maybe a millimeter below below the table, and that way I just get that edge. Let me find a bait and I can show you what I mean. Because I have some that are already done, that are already routed. Here's, yeah, we'll use this one. I'll show you a couple. Hang on. Okay. So this was one of the, have I ever, I did do an aluminum lip. It was a big pain. But I'll show you, let me get that too. I'll show you that one too. But anyways, so as you can see, Steve, this is all from a router right here. That's all from the table router. Right there, it's from a table router. And if you notice, it leaves the sides pretty flat, as you can tell. This one I routed first, and then I sanded the inside. I sanded a taper, and then I took a knife and I carved all that out. So that's what I did there. But the initial curvature was set by a table router. Aluminum lip. Hang on. Okay. Well, this is more like a show and tell. Aluminum lip. And this is pinned. But this is not routed. This one I carved. I carved that and sanded it. And aluminum lip. Tried to make it like a Supernatural Big Baits. Unfortunately, I didn't get the holes drilled straight through the middle like I thought I did. But so this one doesn't run all that well. But you know, you don't know until you try it, so you paint it all the way. All right, let's keep moving. You gotta learn to paint. All right, I think the next step on this I was going to do is probably going to be scales. And my plan is to use pearl white down here at the bottom, right here. Actually, I'll do the whole thing in pearl white, and then I'll go over that in brown. And then bright white on the eyes. And I don't know, I'm thinking I may just do some black just for the scales or the gills. I think I might do that. And not put a whole lot of detail in the head. And kind of make something simple. Yeah, it's so what I found is everything's got to be perfect. And the holes, if your line isn't drawn perfectly straight on the diving lip, you're not indexed correctly, and you put that in, once you drill, you're done. You got to start over. So that's what I've kind of found out. But when you get it, it's all perfect. Eat pizza crust first. You know, let's play with that. Let's try it. Okay. I guess we're going to do a little I've never done this. Eat pizza crust first. I have no idea what this is. I think it's, yeah, you know what? I don't know how to get away from this. So how do I get away from that? Because that's kind of ruining everything right now. We'll do it. We'll worry about it. Answer. Okay. All right, here we go. So now we're working on the scales. Okay. All right. I gotta figure out how to get rid of this Q&A thing. This is really annoying me. If someone knows, please tell me. I don't know why I did that. I guess I was trying to be a little bit more interactive with everybody. More than I normally am. Okay. Remember, we got to have this really, really tight. No, you eat the pizza crust last, don't you? Do you guys have to answer that, or do I? I don't have a clue. But I would eat the pizza crust last. Yes. Kind of like a marinara sauce or a melted garlic butter. No, that would be good. Okay, last one here. I think we got that pretty tight. So we're going to do the whole lure like that. The whole thing. Okay. All right. So there we go. Now I'm going to do the whole lure with pearl white. There. Okay, figured out how to end it. So we ended the Q&A. Here we go. So Wicked Pearl White is the color. Hopefully you guys can see that right there. Wicked Pearl White. We got to get this airbrush cleaned out a little bit better because I don't want orange to go on it. Okay. Wow, he's back. The Lonesome Fisherman is here. Welcome back, man. Man, I got 3 of the OG viewers here on these live streams. Steve, the Lonesome Fisherman, and Mars. Now I just need Straight Outta Crofton to come back. Then got the whole motley crew here viewing. This is awesome. Merry Christmas to you too, Mr. Lonesome Fisherman. How much do they need thin? Because I have some, and Even thinned out, they don't really turn out really well. How thin? Because I basically gave up on it, on that paint. There were some really cool colors which would have been awesome to use, like a lot of nice olives that would have been good for like a perch or something instead of mixing. All right, here we go. Scales, pearl white. I'm going to do the whole thing in pearl white, but I'm going to try to go really light down here. Ooh, a lot of thin. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, this is kind of too thin, but oh well. Okay, we're gonna dry that off real quick. I don't know. It's one of my old shad patterns that you guys have seen me paint, but I tapered it. I made a different profile on it. So I don't know how it's going to swim, but we'll try it when we get some soft water. And yeah, so I'm just going to hit that with the dryer and then we'll keep painting our scales. I'm going to try not to put a whole lot of detail. I want to kind of keep it simple today. Because I have a video that I'm actually editing right now for the channel. It takes a while to edit because it's a pain. Okay, let's dry that off again. What am I going to call this? All right, so, okay, so let's see. Maybe I could do another one. If you guys can find out, ooh, that's a good color, sunset shad or sunrise. Okay, let me think here. Yeah, we'll call it sunrise or sunset. That's good. The big O. I think, doesn't that already have a name? Cotton Cordell made a lure like that called the Big O. All right, a little bit more. I'm trying to think here. What if on another live stream, if I have one that I paint that after I test it and it runs really good, if you guys can find out how much it would cost to ship to Canada, but the stipulation I'm going to have is that the person who wins it, unfortunately, will pay the shipping, whether it's to Canada or the US. If someone finds out, messages me, or here lets me know, then I will open another lure to a contest. When I hit 1,200 subscribers. Let me know, and we'll do it. Because I gotta send this lure to one person. Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I don't know if you guys can see the pearl white. I can barely see it, but I think that's exactly what we're looking for. Okay. So now I'm going to take some of this What do you think, this transparent brown over all of this? Or should I go gold and then this? Um, I'd have to get one of my lawyers and find out. Probably a few ounces. I think a few ounces. It really doesn't weigh that much. Maybe 3 ounces. Maybe somewhere around there. Grams wise, let me grab one and we can wait and find out. Let me grab one. Okay, you guys remember this one we did the live stream on. Remember that one? Let's see how much this weighs. They're all cedar. And I have some mahogany that I'm going to be working on too. All right, I got my handy dandy scale out. Let's weigh this. Let's see how much it weighs. Lake Erie Lee. They are made from cedar. All right, let's put this on here. Let's zero that out. And we'll do that. 82 grams. That's what it weighs. We'll say 83 grams. That's what this, oh, shit. That's what this lure weighs, 83 grams. So they just cost by, you ship it by weight? If that's the case, then the next one I do, I will open up to my friends that are north of the border, Mars, and a couple of other people that are up there that come down on these live streams. All right, I'm thinking brown. Let's do brown, and then we'll finish it off with black. We're gonna do a thin, transparent brown. 35 bucks. Wow. Dang. I mean, for me, just to mill stuff here, it's like $7, $8. 35. Boy. Or is a consumer getting fleeced on that one? Yeah, well, let's do gold. Or brown. Okay, let's thin this out a little bit more. I want it a lot thinner. A little bit too much. That's all right. We can go multiple coats if we have to. There we go. Okay. All right. Here we go. We're just going to go right down the top. Right down the top here. Right across the top here. Can you guys see that right there? Okay, good. Wow, that's way too thin. See? I mean, you guys can I can see it, but it's pretty thin. I would just send it by ground. That's what I do with some of the baits that people buy from me. I send via ground. You know, I have a better color than that brown. I have a better color. Let me find it. It's a way better color. It's an illustration color, and I can't find it. Darn it. There it is. All right. Illustration sepia. That's what I'm going to do. Illustration sepia. This looks so much better. And the cool thing is I don't have to thin it out. That's the awesome thing. We don't have to thin it. All right, illustration sepia. I like this color. I like these paints. Okay, here we go. Sorry, guys. There we go. Yeah, it's a color I really like. I did a few lures with that color, and I really like it. As you can tell, I've used it quite a bit. And there we go. I don't think I'm going to go any more on, maybe a little bit more over here. Let's dry it off first. Okay. Thank you. Here we go. A little bit more. Almost a little darker across the top. There. That looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some black and just go dust black right across the top. And that's going to be pretty thin as well. Okay. One drop of the wicked black. And all I'm going to do with that is go right down the middle. There we go. That looks pretty wicked. Look at that. That looks pretty wicked. I like that. It's simple, understated, and I think it'll be very effective. Thank you, Mr. Lake Erie Lee. Much appreciated, my friend. All right, let's get this dried off so we can see what this looks like. Let me hang on. We'll do that after we take the scales off. After we take this cloth off and see what our scales look like. Wish someone had a drum roll. Ooh, wow, look at that. How cool is that? That is awesome. Black stripe down the top. Okay. I'm going to go really, really light. I'm not going... Thank you very much, Lee. All right, here we go. I have some black in there. Okay. There's your black stripe. I think this is probably one of the better ones I've done on this stream. I've done some really good ones. I think this is one of the really good ones. I just hope this thing swims because I haven't tested it. The diving looks a little different than I normally do, so. All right. Okay, so I think I'm gonna put some gills on it. I think we'll just do black. Make it really simple, black. Steve says it's done. We got to do the eyes. We have to do the eyes. All right. So put a fork in it. It's done. Okay. I'm going to paint the eyes. And we'll call it done. I won't even put gills on it. Won't even put fins. Do none of that. I think that's the general consensus. Okay. So let me get some white. We'll put some white on the eyes. Get the eyes painted, glued in. I'll get it signed. Oh, we have to put our red dot, don't we? It needs a red dot, doesn't it? And signed. Okay. All right, let's. What did I do? Okay, we'll get a sign. Let's do our red dot. Okay, let's get that cleaned out. Red dot. Okay, so where's my paper towel? There it is. All right, so normally I go with white or black on the eyes. I'm going to go with white today. I'm going to try white. Maybe if it swims, maybe we'll put it up for a drawing. But I think we got to put a little bit of orange on here. I'm going to put some more orange on here. We got to redo that a little bit. Okay? Because we got some white showing through. So let's do the orange first. Sorry, guys. Okay, here we go. That'll work. I think that'll work for me. Right there. What do you guys think? Think that'll work? Better? Okay, good. So do I. Let's heat this whole thing up. All right. Time for the red dots. You are free to use any pattern that you find and anything that you have with me. Even if you guys watch the videos and you see how I make my lures, please, I don't care if you guys use them. Okay, it doesn't matter to me. Thank you very much, Luke. I appreciate it. Because I look online and I find patterns and I use patterns and I make them my own. So every pattern's been done, and they're all there to use. Just make them your own. That's all. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Let's do the white. Thank you. Much appreciated. All right, get this cleaned off. All right, okay. One more time. We're gonna get that nozzle cleaned out a little bit. I know that there is just so many different choices. There's just so much. It's kind of overwhelming. Even like just trying to think about a lure color to make. That's the best part. I like doing that, and I like the epoxy, because the epoxy really makes everything just pop. All right, this is my wicked. Okay, so I'm going to do with a wicked opaque white, and we're going to do that around the eyes. And while I'm doing that, why don't you guys think about how I should paint them, the eyes? Do I go with red? Do I go with fluorescent orange? What do I go with? Because here's the eyes, but I have to paint them, and then we put the glass. I put the glass over them. This I found just looks totally awesome. Red. Okay, we'll do red. All right, so we're gonna go white. Okay, sorry guys, sorry about that. Okay, white. And same on the other side. There we go. I do. I've used them. I've got them all pretty much used up. from my very, very early days of painting, but I do have some. In the video, Steve, where I did the live stream, I think I did use a color shifting paint on it. I think I did. Oh, I gotta do another total cleaning on this airbrush. All right, so we're gonna do red. So red and black. And do we need to put any? Ooh, you mean maybe color shift for the eyes? Okay, for the iris. Let me see what I have to use. So I have some of that spacey color shifting paint, but I don't know how much of it I have left. Yeah, I know. All right, let's try it. Let's see if I can find some. All right. I barely have any of this bright brown gold. I don't know if I have any of that left. Old gray violet, old gold and gray violet. And I think that's all I have, actually. Out of all my color shifting paint, that's all I have left. Oh, wait. I've got this orange violet. I think that might be the color. But this is kind of color shifting on its own. See that? That's kind of color shifting on its own right there. I fish too. I also fish. Primary fish I like to fish for are muskies and steelhead. Unfortunately, steelhead have kind of taken a backseat to the musky fishing. Thanks, Steve. And red gold. So I decided, let's see, I'm going to go with a bronze. So I like to, like I said, I like to really fish for. Merry Christmas to you too, Steve, and to you and your family. So have a great New Year too, buddy. I like steelhead and musky, but I like fishing for panfish too sometimes. So bluegills, crappie. I'm actually in Ohio. Oh, Western New York, cool. So you fished Cattaraugus and Oak Orchard and Burt and all those places? Okay. All right, so we're gonna do that iris. We're gonna paint these eyes. I have a bronze that I'm gonna use. So how's the fishing been up there lately? I'm gonna make a smaller pupil. I'll be 1 second. I got to make a smaller pupil on this. So maybe I can just do it like this. Let's make it really small. How do I know about Dirty Bird? I was fishing there like 25 years ago. The place is a zoo. It's not one of my favorite places to fish, but it gets a lot of fish. And if that's what you want to do, you want to catch a lot of fish, Burt and Oak are the places to go. I also fish center pins and floats. And I've been doing that for quite a long time. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just... Okay. I got my pupil. It's pretty small. But with the glass it comes out pretty big. Okay? So we're going to go with this as my iris. Go really light. Okay, here we go, guys. Oh, white got in there. I hate when this happens. There we go. That's one iris down. Well, kind of. You know how I switch between all these different things, Mars. You find different ways to do them, watch videos, you see different ways, a lot easier, better, and you use them. And that's what I love about doing this stuff, is all the information gets shared. I fished Devil's Hole once or twice. Fished Art Park. Well, Lake Erie, Lee, I have been fishing that area for a lot of years, and probably if you name the stream, I may have fished it once, at least once. Johnson Creek, Oak, Burt, both Sandys. Sandy near Sandy Creek by the Oak, and then Sandy Creek up by Watertown over on the other side of the Salmon River. Fished the salmon. Never fished Genesee though. Never fished the Genesee. Or Irondequoit. Really haven't fished anywhere near around Rochester actually. But all around the other areas, I have. And I'll tell you what, those Lake Ontario tributaries are just amazing. Well, I've been on this for an hour already. We're not going to call this done until the red dot is done and it's signed. So how's the fishing been up there lately this year? I haven't been up there in quite a while. I remember the days before they closed off Oak Orchard, the dam, where before they put all those fences up. Like where that cable used to be that ran across on the overflow side. You used to be able to fish that entire thing. I've even waded across it once or twice. But I heard someone wanted to try to get a little bit deeper and they went in. Yeah, it's actually a lot easier painting like this. I've heard the fishing around here in Ohio has been pretty spotty. Hopefully now that we've had this melt and the rivers have come up, uh, hopefully we get that big push of fish, especially for the springtime. So I really want to get out and do some fishing. Really. Huh. All right, time for some black pupils. Hopefully this works. If it doesn't, I'm rolling with it. It doesn't matter. Let's find that black dot. There. So this stuff is just going to look a lot bigger when we put this in. I'm going to put the glass over it. There we go. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. You can barely see the iris, but it's there. Is the Licorice Man still around at Orleans Outdoors? And is Narby still around too? No, I don't fish boats. I didn't never fished a boat. It was all on land. We shore fished it, and then we shore fished Devil's Hole as well. Something mark the middle. The giant Oompa Loompa. Okay. It's probably been a good, I don't know, 15 years since I fished. Maybe 5 years since I fished Western New York. Yeah, Orleans Outdoors, and then Narby's are all over by Oak Orchard. All right, I need some super glue. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so now the fun part. This is the part that makes this lure really come alive. And once these are done, we'll put the red dot on, get it signed, and we are ready to go for some epoxy. And I'm going to use 30 minute epoxy. Normally, I use this Total Boat stuff. That's an interesting question, Carventure. What would you rather do? I have not, and I don't count when I was over in Messina, New York, at the dam casting from shore. I really don't consider that fishing for muskies because I was just putzing around at the time. So no, I have not fished the St. Lawrence for muskies. Um, I have fished the St. Lawrence when I was a little kid over in Chippewa Bay, and we caught a lot of pike. Nothing big, but a lot of small ones, but some really monster bass. Then I met the owner of the St. Lawrence Muskie Shop. Pretty neat place. I like the Muskie Shop a little bit better. Okay, so there's our eyes, but we're not done yet. We are not done yet. We gotta put the glass over it. Okay. So don't forget, you guys, if you guys like these live streams, you can watch them again when I put them up. And also, if you guys like the channel, subscribe, like it, and then share all this stuff with your friends. All right. And I've got these glass rounds you can buy off of Amazon. They're going to go in here, and you're going to see these eyes really pop. I used to paint these, and they're a real pain. And I think you're pretty limited what you can do with them, too. This way, there's no limit. You can print them out. You can use a printer and print these eyes out and do the same thing. Okay, so here we go. You see what I mean? Look at that. That is awesome. I really like that. Let's do the other side. Okay. There we go. I just love how these things just come alive with these eyes. Okay, we're going to give this a few minutes. Thank you. We're going to put our little red dot, get it signed, and then get all this tape off and put some epoxy on it, put it on rotisserie, and maybe I'll put 2 coats on this one because of the eyes. But you know what? I think I could go with the bigger pupil and the bigger iris. I could do that, but we'll do that on the next one. Okay. So let's get this airbrush cleaned out a little bit and put our red paint in. It'll be the last time you guys have to hear this. What brand hooks do I like to use? For steelhead, it would be, I've used Gamakatsu, Raven, Eagle Claw. Those are my go-tos. And for my baits, I use either VMC or Mustad. For this one, it's probably like a size 4 or 5 treble. For my bigger baits, like these, I think these are a 7. I'll go as high as 8s on some of them too. And these are all Mustad. But I also don't really, I mean, it doesn't really matter the brand really. I've used some off of Amazon. They seem to hold up. They held up to a 44.5-inch musky. So, but my primary go-tos, if I can get them, are Mustad and VMC. I have one bigger than that one. I have one that's 22. I think it's like 22 inches long. Let's put our little dot on here. Sorry guys, I'm using a template. Go bigger dot. Let's go bigger. Bigger dot. There we go. There you go. There's your dot. Should I put some red? Let's put some red here for the bleeding gills. There we go. And maybe a little bit of red here. There we go. Well, don't forget, I use templates on the eyes too, so. Let's get this signed and we'll get all the tape off and we'll get the epoxy on. Where's my pen? All right, let's get this thing signed. Okay. I have to sign it down here. Sorry, guys. Okay. Let's set that before we put the epoxy on. What were you going to say, Lee? All right. I gotta grab some brushes. We're gonna take this off here. We're gonna take all this tape off over here, guys. All right. So let me show you I'll show you what I start with. Okay. I'll show you. Hang on one second. Okay. So there we go. We'll have to clean the lip off. It's no big deal, but there's the bait. All right. Okay. So how do I start with my raw material? Thank you. Thank you very much. So Lee, let me show you what to start off with raw material. Um, it is one piece. I have mahogany also that buy the plank at Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever. And I plane it down to, I would think this is a little bit less than a 1/2 inch thick right here, just the one plank here. Then that's where I do my cutting. And then I use my planer. I get it all planed out nice and flat. And I have a joiner that I use to get my edges nice and square. When that's all done, I have a sled that I used. I got off of the idea from watching Fred Hold Baits. And I use that to cut my diving lip slot on a table saw. After that, it gets all cut out in a bandsaw, sanded smooth, carve it out. But that's what I use. So it's from a raw piece, from a single piece of wood, or two, however you want to look at it. But that's how I do it. All right, so I'm going to grab a scale, a brush, a cup to mix some epoxy in. We're going to mix some epoxy and put some epoxy. It is a lot of work to do. It's a ton. And I don't think personally, when people look at custom baits like that and being for sale and, you know, costing as much as they cost, I don't think people really take into account the time that someone puts into making them. Because there's a lot of time that goes into them. And in all honesty, if you don't pump them out hundreds during a day, you're really not making any money on them. All right, well, I've gone and used a lot of different types of epoxy. I will use the Bob Smith 30-minute. Let me get it for you guys here. I will use the Bob Smith epoxy. I will also use this stuff, Total Boat Tabletop Epoxy. This works out really good. The only problem is it takes forever to cure. I've used Alumilite. I like it. I like Alumilite a lot. And, well, Flex Coat for fishing rods, stuff like that. I've used, Trondeck U40, and I've used the moisture curing urethanes as well, which I like a lot. But those you have to go really thin, and you gotta really let it dry, because if you don't, it's going to bubble up, and you're going to get a ton of bubbles because of how it cures. I do. I use every single one of them. Oh, I have that too. Sorry. I've used that as well. And I have UV lights, but I just haven't made a box for them. So typically, summertime, UV resin, first coat, go outside, let it sit there for like maybe an hour or so, and then come back and paint and do whatever I need to do. But typically it's, if it's really nice out and sunny, and I have some of this left, I've used this before, and I really like it. I just wish I made a box. I should make a box that I could use all that in. Okay, so let me get some brushes, a cup, and we can get this epoxy mixed before it cools down, because this is going to be a really pain in the butt to mix once it's cold. All right, you guys can see that, right? Okay, cool. All right, so let's get this scale turned on. It's a 1-to-1 mixture, so when I'm doing my bodies and I'm epoxying over all this, I really like it to be 1-to-1 mixture. Um, if I'm just joining this stuff together, if I'm just putting all this together, I don't really worry too much about the amount of epoxy. I just mix it. I just pour it in and mix it. We're going to use all this. And I like using more than I need because when I mix more, that kind of gives me the like some room for error. And you don't want to get this stuff too hot because it reacts really fast. So you don't have a lot of mixing time. Or work time after it's mixed. You really gotta work fast with it. So we're gonna mix this really quick. We'll get this painted on and then heat it up and then get it on the rotisserie. I can already feel it reacting. I don't think we're gonna have a lot of time to work with this. Sometimes what I like to do too is I like to heat the body up a little bit. And that'll make the epoxy really go. I do, but now that I've got it mixed, it's going to take a long time to find because I don't know exactly where it's at. Unless it's over here. Unless I have one over here, which I don't. I used to. All right. Let's get this. Let's heat this up real quick here, and then we'll get this painted. Oh, I might have some fine gold. Let me see. No, I don't want that gold. Okay, I got some really fine stuff we can use. Okay. Let's drop a little bit in there. Not a lot. Ooh, too much. It's all right. All right. You want glitter. You got glitter. It's all right. That's what this is for. It's fun. It's all about having fun. And besides, look at it, it looks pretty good. If this was something we were going to sell, we'd have to do this with the eyes off. Like if I was going to, say, do this and raffle it off. We would do the glitter with the eyes off. And then naturally put 2 coats of clear over it. Yeah, I gotta start working a little faster. Shoot. It's already starting. for working in the cold garage. We're just going to use it all. Okay, so we're going to put this under the heat, let it rotate a little bit, and then we'll put it on the rotisserie. So there we go. All right. Trying to see if I got all. I think we're going to put a second coat on this. All right, let's see what this does with some heat. All right, let's get this leveled out real quick here. Send out the air, so we get all the air bubbles out. There we go. Look at that, much better and crystal clear. Okay. All right, there we go, guys. We're going to put this on rotisserie, and I'm going to call it a night. And I want to thank all of you guys for watching this and sticking around for as long as you guys did. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, let's get this on rotisserie. Okay, let's start over. All right. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. I'm going to call it a night. I appreciate everyone who stuck around for as long as you guys did. I hope you guys learned something, enjoyed yourselves, got entertained. But yeah, I was really excited doing this live stream. I'm glad we made the learn nice and simple and didn't complicate things. So thank you again, and I will see you guys on the next live stream. Don't know when that's going to be because I got a really long work week ahead. So all of you guys have a great Christmas, a happy new year. And again, thank you for watching. If you like it, subscribe and share these videos. Oh, and watch the live stream again all the way through. All right, take it easy. Thank you guys. Have a great Christmas and a happy new year.